I can't get over the deep importance of the episode of Tall Asmo Umongezi on Podcast and Chill with Mac G and Sol Penduga. On Thursday, I made a preliminary video. I was overhearing the episode while I was supervising a painting job at a complex in Johannesburg. And I decided to make a video and I released it. I pre-recorded it. On Thursday, I released it Saturday morning. And a lot of people dragged me for that video, Their responses were quite emotive. They said I was wrong. I should have watched the whole episode, etc. Even though I put a disclaimer saying, guys, look, I haven't listened or watched the whole thing. These are just some of my thoughts. Even before that video was released on Saturday morning, on Friday evening, I watched the whole thing, almost 2 hours, and I decided to go live on Facebook for about 50 minutes. And then I went live, I think, on TikTok for about 45 minutes. On TikTok, you can't save the video as far as I know, but I managed to save my Facebook Live. And I took that Facebook Live and it's being released on Sunday morning. I'm recording this on Sunday morning, so it's going to come out at 8 a.m. this morning. This video is going to come out on Monday, the day after the Sunday. In that Facebook Live video, I think a lot of people understood what I had to say. I was giving more context. I was touching on some points. I wrote so many notes while listening, and I didn't get to cover all of the notes. Some of them I think were kind of unnecessary. Some of them I did cover. Some of them I never got to. And there's a chance that I'm going to be making more videos about that Tall Asmo episode because I think it is so important. I think it's so important. There are a lot of podcast and chill episodes that are important. Maybe at some point I'll make time to review some of them that I thought were very important and touch on some of the matters. But this one for me, especially as a relatively young Black South African man, I think is so important in the context of the world we live in today. So I'm making another video, You can go and check out the first video I released on Saturday morning. You can check out the video that's being released Sunday morning. And then obviously you can check out this one. And for me, a lot of people obviously commented on that video, that episode Tall Asmo. I think on Podcast and Chill when I checked, it was close to 4,000 comments underneath. A lot of clips on social media, on TikTok. A lot of people are discussing it in various spaces and on WhatsApp groups. A lot of people obviously commented on my videos. We need to have this conversation. We need to have this conversation. It's fundamentally important because it is destroying young boys, young girls in this country and around the world. So, yeah, man. Why am I making this video? I'm making this video because I rewatched the episode yesterday. I got to about 1 hour and then I stopped. It was emotionally draining me again. I grew up watching, and I'm still a fan of CSI, Law and Order, Boston Legal. There's new shows now, Grey's Anatomy, Chicago PD, Chicago Med, some other legal shows, some other shows on investigative, forensic investigations, While I was listening yesterday, the first thing I want to point out is this. The people that commented negatively on my video that came out on Saturday morning seem to miss the point of that video. That video was not about Tall Asmo. That video was not about the case of Tall Asmo and Lerato Moloi. That video was about the legal system in South Africa and how it is flawed and broken. And I refuse to call it the justice system because it's not just. And I use the Tall Asmo example as an example, speaking about how some men are falsely accused, speaking about how some women never get justice. It wasn't about Tall Asmo, and most of the comments were saying, go watch the video, you missed it, you're making a mistake. And it wasn't about Tall Asmo. I have the deepest sympathy and empathy for Tall Asmo and what he's gone through. Himself, his wife Umome, all the people in his family that have supported him, his children. I have the deepest sympathy and empathy for him. And he won his case in court. It's not for me to say I believe Lerato or Moloi. And importantly, it's not even for me to say I believe Tall Asmo. It's not even about that. So my video wasn't about that. And I think a lot of the people who responded were responding from emotions and lack of comprehension, which seems to happen a lot. In a lot of the videos I get to watch, including the ones I make, where people come at me sideways. You can come at me, by all means. You can disagree with me. In fact, I welcome disagreement. But don't come at me sideways, especially from an irrationally emotional perspective, and because of a lack of comprehension, because you didn't understand. If you're not sure, ask. If you're not sure, watch again and make sure. I watch a lot of CSI, I watched a lot of Law and Order. And what you realize there is the legal systems, whether in America or South Africa, are built on story, narrative. And it's not just the legal. It's everywhere. Politics. It's religion. Story. People love story. And if you can tell a good story, and if you can tell a convincing story, whether it is real or not, whether it is fact or not, you win. Child born in a manger to a virgin mother, walks on water, heals the sick, is crucified and killed, and then resurrects into the heavens. Story, beautifully told, emotively told. Enough people buy into it, it becomes real. Like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like other cryptocurrencies, like fiat currencies, like gold and diamonds. The De Beers story is a beautiful story of a worthless commodity, worthless, that through Hollywood and propaganda, and a diamond is a girl's best friend, and if you love a woman, you must get a big rock. That is story. And story has to be emotive. It has to have some semblance of reality, but it must win the people over, whether it is real or not. While I was listening to Tall Asmo, I could not help but cringe and be uncomfortable again listening to Tall Asmo. Tall Asmo is not okay. He is hurt. He is angry. He claims, he states, he has been falsely accused of rape, and he has fought his trial for 3.5 years, and he has been cancelled on social media, in real life, by brands, by companies that are meant to carry on with the production of his reality show with Mome, by people that he thought were friends, by so-called feminists and celebrities. And he mentions Rosie Mutene, he mentions Bloem Bombo, he mentions Lebo Mashile, he mentions Nsigi Mazwai, he mentions Tembi Samtota. Pained, hurt, a man who has been falsely accused by a lady named Lerato Moloi, and he had to fight. He had to go and get a forensic investigator. I think Mike Moloi is his name, who apparently has a show on CakeNet. And Mike Moloi put him on a lie detector test, polygraph, to find out if he really did it before he took on his case. I don't even believe lie detector tests, because I believe you can cheat those things. They measure your heart rate, so if you can control your heartbeat, even if you're guilty of something, they control you, they pick up sweat. So they check your sweating. If you can manage your sweating, this is where you hear of terms like psychopath, sociopath. You can plug these things in, and you can even convince yourself of a lie. What am I saying? I'm saying your memory can lie to you. If I ask you when you were a child, were you wearing a green or a red t-shirt? You might be like, it was green. And then I show you a picture of a red t-shirt. You're like, shit, it was red. And now you believe it was red. Then you find out later that I actually tampered with the photo. It was actually green. We cannot even trust our own memories. That's why we're like, oh yeah, it wasn't in Cape Town, it was in Durban. We cannot trust our own memory. You can lie to yourself. You can lie to yourself. Other people can lie to you. Your mom can lie to you about who your dad is. You can be lied to about religion, about politicians. Lied to. These are real things. CSI Law and Order. Tall Asmo being angry. I hate the I Believe Her and the Me Too movements. I hate them. I hate them because they are not grounded in reality and facts and evidence. They are grounded in this idea, this concept of so many victims of abuse and rape and murder have been silenced and not believed for so long that some people now are like, look, for those people, when a woman accuses someone, we will believe her just so that she can be strong enough to tell her story. But now you don't realize there's danger in doing that. In the same way the hashtag Men Are Trash movement was so garbage. I understand. I fully understand where it came from. It came from a place where so many bad men were beating women, raping women, killing women, financially abusing them, verbally, emotionally, mentally abusing them. I understand. But when you make this blanket statement of men are trash, society out there makes it general, most, all. And good men, good boys, catch stray bullets. Oh, we knew it. Value, you men are trash. No, man. What was meant to be a good movement of some men are trash, bad men are trash, violent men are trash, now goes and it hurts good men. And it gets idiotic women to go and bash good men. And it gets good men to stop siding with women who are victims because they're like, I don't want to get accused of stuff. I don't want to catch stray bullets. Men have been hurt. Men have been murdered trying to intervene and save women's lives. And then those women tomorrow after the man has been murdered, they go and they drop the charges and they go back to their lover. Bullshit fucking movements and propaganda out there. So I hate the I believe her. I hate the Me Too. I understand where it comes from. But if you guys really want to support people, then support them genuinely. Say things like, I support Lerato Moloi to tell her story. Not I support that she's telling the truth. That's bullshit. You don't know what the fuck the truth is. We all don't know. I support Tall Asmo. You don't know. Why the fuck would you pick a side when you weren't even there? What happens if video footage emerges tomorrow of something that you'd bought into a story? And the reason I hate the legal system is because lawyers get paid a lot of money to curate a certain narrative. You see Oscar Pistorius, the snot hanging out, he's crying. Oh my gosh, so sad, so emotive. We don't know what the fuck. And if you are a sociopath or a psychopath, you can play into this. Tall Asmo is angry. Part of the issue with Tall Asmo or Tall Asmo's story for me, because I've watched so much CSI and Law and Order, is I realize just because the story makes sense and it sounds good now doesn't mean it cannot be countered. Tall Asmo narrates the affidavit, the case of Lerato Moloi. How she says she was raped on a particular date. I think it was the 18th of March. Tall Asmo says he was actually in Joburg or he was on a flight that morning, etc., etc. There's a leeway of 30 days with the act, 30 days before, 30 days after, because sometimes people get the dates wrong, etc. But that does not even really matter. He narrates the story, how she says she was raped, how she says he penetrated her mouth, etc., etc. He narrates it, and in his narration, he rubbishes this entire story. And obviously, if you're listening, you're like, but this is bullshit. Why would anyone rape like that? Why would you believe someone who was drunk? You know, you buy into his story. It's a convincing story. It's an angry story. It's a story of a man who has been done wrong. So you want to jump in, especially because so many men have been done wrong, because so many women are malicious and evil, and without any evidence, attack men who are deemed good men in society. What happens now? What happens now if Lerato Moloi goes on to another platform and she tells you a different story that is just as convincing? Hi guys, I'm Lerato Moloi. Tall Asmo won the case in court. I agree and I acknowledge and I accepted the judgment. He won the case. He was found not guilty of what I accused him of. Not necessarily that he's innocent and he didn't do it, but he was found not guilty. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because in a court of law, we deal with evidence, we deal with witnesses, we deal with dates and affidavits. Sure. And my evidence, my witnesses, my affidavit didn't hold up. So he won. On my side, I want to say this. I need to explain. This is a hypothetical. This is not real. I'm making up a fake story before you guys fucking drag me and whatever. I'm making up a fake story. Lerato Moloi goes on to some platform, some podcast, and she says, I was drinking. I agree. I wasn't drinking. But I could ask Tall Asmo, I could ask you, have you ever drank? Have you ever been drunk? And in your drunken state, do you remember some things as a fact? Yes, some things may not be a fact. Maybe some things I made up. Maybe I was dreaming, sure. But have you ever been drunk and seen something and said, I remember that? I may have been drunk. My testimony may not hold up in court. But the bottom line is, as drunk as I was, I fucking saw what was happening. And I'm telling you, that's what happened to me. Similarly, I want to say, Tall Asmo himself, when he was there, or it may be him or it may be someone else, Again, this is a fake story. Please listen to understand and not to respond. Whoever, let's say, raped me, violated me. Tall Asmo is an example. Has he ever been drunk? If the answer is yes, has he ever been so wasted that he forgets certain things? Oh, dog, I don't remember what I did last night. Fuck, apparently I was vomiting. Yo, the cops stopped us. Yo, I blacked out. I don't remember. Could it be that you've done things in the past while drunk that you've forgotten? Because that may have been the case here. I was violated by someone. That person was drunk. I was drunk, but I remember. And that person maybe does not remember. I remember. Did I get the date wrong? I could have gotten the date wrong. I could ask you what you were doing on the 18th of March 2014. Do you know with extreme certainty? And especially if you were drunk, especially if you're still dealing with trauma. Can you accurately say where 7 days ago at 12 midday, where were you? Oh, I'm not sure. We don't know, but I'm telling you, because you have to write an affidavit, and these affidavits are stupid. They expect you to write an exact time, an exact date, and you're like, I'm not really sure. Well, you can't say you're not sure because then this is not a case. And you're like, but realistically, I'm not. That's why we rely on evidence, of course. So if someone is saying I was on a flight, I was in another province, sure. Okay, fine. But I'm still saying I was violated, and I still believe it was you. This is now this legal case, which is so complex, and rape is so complex. You're telling the story, and a sociopath, psychopath, let's say a Lerato Moloi is such a crazy mind and such an amazing actress. She goes on a platform, she says, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Whether you believe me or not, I don't care. Whether he wins the case or not, I don't care. The bottom line is I want other women out there to know you must be brave and tell your story, even if you will lose. And it doesn't matter if you lose, Siswami. You must bravely tell your story. It doesn't matter if social media drags you. The same way it dragged him. And I never asked people to drag him. I never asked all these female celebrity feminists to drag him. I didn't. All I did is I told my story. And all of this happened. I didn't ask for it. It happened. But I'm here to tell my story again. I was violated. I may have been drunk. We all drink. I trusted this person. I maybe did not take a rape kit. I maybe do not remember the face or whatever. I'm telling you I was violated. If this was the wrong person and there's evidence, I'm happy to apologize. But this is my truth. In the same way, it's your truth that Jesus Christ died for you on the cross. She could go on. Again, this is a fake story. She could go on and be like, this is the same guy who is telling you that he had to be institutionalized for 2 weeks. A psychiatric institution, which he says cost him 150,000. He was institutionalized, which means something was wrong and he had to take medication. He can blame me for his breakdown, but the bottom down is he was not in a good psychological state. And maybe in that not good psychological state, maybe he was not in a good psychological state when he violated me. And in that sit down, she has to be very brave and very strong and very matter of fact. And somewhere in that story, she must break down and cry. Because human beings are emotional creatures. When they see tears, when they see a woman crying, when they hear you reference Umamwini, when they hear you reference Ukarabo Mkwena, Uine Mkhwetyana, etc., people get emotional and they break down. And a Lerato Moloi could re-win back. If you've watched Boston Legal, if you've watched Law and Order, literally the judicial council there, the jury there, one day they hear, the next day they hear a new story. Hey, no evidence, no facts, no videos, just story. Nelson Mandela was a hero. Hey, he was our hero. Back then, legally, the same legal system, Nelson Mandela was a terrorist, a leader of a terrorist organization called the African National Congress that had a rebel army called Umkhonto weSizwe that was going around bombing buildings, that was burning IDs, that was terrorizing and harming innocent people. After the good white people of South Africa had created these jobs for them and had built roads and had civilized them and given them money, this is the thanks they get. This terrorist organization killing innocent people, innocent white children, innocent white women. Story. And the whole of South Africa and the rest of the Western world, oh my gosh, the ANC is a terrorist organization. Nelson Mandela must be killed or jailed. Then black South Africans go into exile, the Hugh Masekelas, the Miriam Makebas of this world, the Oliver Reginald Tampos, they go out and they tell a new story We are not terrorists. We are human beings searching for rights. We have been killed and oppressed and exploited. You guys have been told the wrong story. We hear fake news all the time. ENCA, SAPC News, CNN, Fox News. Story. You go and you get on a platform and you tell your story and you make it emotional and you tell the story and you like, doesn't matter if I accuse other people like what DJ Pepsi. It doesn't matter if my ex-husband doesn't like me. It doesn't matter if this and it doesn't matter. The bottom line is this is my truth. I started imagining because you guys believe in perception. Zodwa wabantu, again, this is a fake story. Please don't fucking drag me because you have a peanut brain. Zodwa wabantu goes and says Maps Maponyane raped her. Society's like, come on. Zodwa wabantu. Lo chave mapunapuni inquzi ngaphandle, come on, fit. Maps Maponyane mchito krene kanjena. Perception. Perception. Society, mob justice on Twitter will go and be like, Zodwa wabantu is obviously lying. She's attacking this poor, innocent, good bloke from Top Billing and other cute brands. Then Zodwa wabantu goes onto a platform. Story. She says, Nguzodwa, niyangazi mina. I've always been open and transparent about my life. Yes, I drive you cooking apparently. That's what I do for a living. Yes, I've slept with my daughter for money. That's what I've done for money. I have always been honest. Angazi ngiqambela manga. If there's one thing enaziyo ngami uZodwa, ukuthi angazi ngiqamba manga. Ngikhuluma iqiniso. Why would ngisukele lo mfana lo? Lo mfana lo muhle o cute. Abanye abantu babuye bacathe mhlambe unotabani nyana ngobe emuhle nje. Why ngimsukela? I don't have anything to gain. Ngifuna ukuyogiga, ngifuna ukuyojive, ngifuna ukuyikhandela imali yami. You guys can hate me, ningangijudge nithi ngisifebe, whatever. I don't care, but the bottom line is angazi ngiqambela manga. Kube ngilale naye futhi ngabe ngiyantshela ukuthi hayi silalile sobabili. Mhlawumbe ungikhokhelile akangikhokhelanga, but I'm telling you I was raped by this man. And people will be like, shit. As ukhuluma iqiniso uZodwa has actually never lied. She's always been honest. Lomchida has always been quiet, clean, and futhi yazi laba clean abathule, hey, you nigga never trust them. Again, this is a fake story just to highlight an example. Tall Asmo goes and blasts him with some daughter. In his pain and anger, I understand. Akekho right umfowethu. And ngiyamzwela. So many men are falsely accused and get to suffer and lose money, and their kids get abused in schools and they get death threats, etc. Apparently now some of these women he called out have been getting death threats on social media via DMs. Again, this is the danger now. And these elite people that want to sow division between men and women, they are winning. All these angry young men are blasting on comments. Vele women are evil. Never trust a woman. Vele faith. Hey, you know, we're fighting again. They are winning. Tall Asmo's case is his case. He won it. I stand in solidarity with Tall Asmo for his false accusation. Pay peace at Tall Asmo to you and your family and everyone. Again, I'm highlighting I don't believe one side over another. It's not for me. I'm not a fucking judge. I'm not a magistrate. I'm not a lawyer. I wasn't there in the room when Lerato was sleeping. I wasn't there when Tall Asmo was going to... I wasn't there. It's not for me to pick a side, as you guys love doing. It's there for me, of course, to hear both sides, both stories, and be like, hey, sounds like lonune evidence. Hey, mina, if I had to ping benzothi ngikholwa lo. If I had benzothi ngikholwa lo. But angazi bengingekho. Because you never know. A video surfaces tomorrow. All of a sudden, everyone now has to bite their tongue. Fuck. So that's all the same with the sifo senu that went around the world savalelwa pants. Buka manje ama-mask asagqoki. Khona bajovile, khona bangajovanga, bajovile, khona sebe nama-side effects. Ngoba satshelwa istory. World Health Organization, United Nations, oh, the Minister of Health. Yeah, but Anthony Fauci said, oh, the overwhelming evidence. Ah, hey, hlanya song, hey, wakhwehlela wathimula, hey baba, hey, ungazongithelela. Hayi hamba uhlala endlini mfowethu 10 days uzoba grand. Muthi? Hayi awudingi umuthi. How? Mjovo? Hayi awudingi umjovo, umzimba uyayicurisha. Symptoms? Hayi ntwana noma ungenawo ama symptoms. Story. This is why with me, all history for me is a suggestion. I don't know if Hitler's actually lived, Mussolini. I don't know if people landed on the moon. I don't know if dinosaurs existed 600 million years ago. I don't know if there were pharaohs that built pyramids. I don't know if there were aliens that landed. I don't know. I wasn't there. We are being taught through books with pictures of dinosaurs. No one took photos, but there's pictures of dinosaurs. No one took photos, but there's pictures of Ushaga. There's pictures of Jesus, of Muhammad. But no one was there. We must just believe. Tina, we just believe by anything that's told with a great story. Money is a great story. Doesn't exist. All of a sudden, Mark Zuckerberg's lost $100 billion. Where did it go? Where did it go? Elon Musk loses $100 billion. Where did it go? Aibo, Ivilana, Isaac, where did it go? Story. And we believe it. So I'm just saying I worry about these things because we don't know what happened. But we jump in and we lose our marbles. And the same legal system that has not given Black South Africans justice, that has not given Black South Africans land, that has not given Black South Africans the economy, that has APLA soldiers still sitting in jail, the same legal system that forgave atrocities of the apartheid era because our Desmond Tutu with the TRC went and they forgave horrendous atrocities. Your mother goes and steals formula just to feed a child. She's in jail. Your brother, who is poor, who's been begging for jobs, sitting on corners, doing this and that, hustling, begging family members, trying to hustle, chased away in neighborhoods. Hey, all of a sudden he goes and he steals a loaf of bread because he's hungry. Jail. No bail because he's got no money. No decent legal representation because he's got no money. That's the legal system that we're now going to pick and choose. Like AfriForum. I'm a paying member of AfriForum, 100 Rand a month. But there's bullshit I don't like about AfriForum. Fighting for the apartheid flag, it's freedom of speech. That's bullshit. AfriForum goes and loses the case against Malema Ndlozi. All of a sudden, the legal system is biased. It's biased. When AfriForum is winning cases, we trust the rule of law. We want to thank the courts. If Tall Asmo had been found guilty, himself and his fans would have been like, the system has just failed our brother. Look at him now. He's probably one of the falsely accused because there are many falsely accused men languishing in jail today. Look at what this broken system has done. Tall Asmo wins his case. Hey, let's trust the legal system. Let's trust the judges. They know what they're doing. Come on, guys. We have to be smarter than that. We have to be smarter than believing in any story just because it sounds nice and it's told in a great way. And again, Nyamthanda Mfowethu Monges so much and what he's been through, and I can't even fathom and imagine what he's been through. I've been accused of things in the past. I've had people say bullshit about me. I've been dragged on Twitter. I've been fully cancelled on Twitter because I don't even have a Twitter account anymore. I understand. Women will say things. They are malicious. I understand. You'd actually lose your fucking mind. But I'm just saying, you can't just take story by Fowethu. Asazi. Jacob Zuma, accused of rape by Ukwezi, won the case. A lot of people to this day believe Jacob Zuma did it. He's powerful, he's influential, he's got money. What about Tall Asmo? He's got money. Lerato Moloi didn't have money. They're even laughing about the fact that her GoFundMe account raised $38.5. This guy says, I've been making money. Emmy Award nominated. I've made money. I had gigs. I was doing this voiceover. I had money. 50,000 Rand legal letters. 150,000 Rand psychiatric institutions. This is a person with money who's beating a person without money. He can afford forensic investigators. This person can't. She has to rely on social media and Twitter and feminazis to come in and assist her. Not to say she's right and he's wrong. I'm explaining the same biases you guys use when it's other ways around, when it's a rich person beating a poor person. If Lerato Moloi, a black woman, had accused a white man that you guys don't like of rape, and this white man happened to have money and be famous and he won the case, how would you guys have felt? What if Lerato Moloi was another celebrity that you maybe have a soft spot for? Someone like Usimi. Usimi muhle. And Usimi unomoya omuhle. She's beautiful. Uzotile. Intombazane yaseThukela Ferry. She makes beautiful music. You know, Zulu girl. Zulu girl, I think from Epomoroyo, somewhere around there. I was raped. Uyakhala. People would be like, Tall Asmo buff. Aye. And on top of that, fethu uyahleka, no make G, busy niyaphuza, niyahleka, le ntombazane le, come on, fethu. But it happened to be a girl that, again, aesthetics. Tall Asmo's even calling her, she's black, like the night. he's hurt. I understand. And when people are hurt, I mean, I don't take everything they say seriously because it's from a place of pain, of course. He's venting. But some of these things, Faith, Tembi, some daughter wanted to commit suicide. We don't know anything about suicide. You could have been suicidal, but people that are depressed and suicidal are not the same. Some could have been laughing today, next thing they're gone tomorrow. Some could have been miserable for months, years, and then they take their life. You never know. Tall Asmo says, I was suicidal. I'll tell me sometimes you can't be suicidal like that, dog. Come on, dog. You can't tell people how to be depressed and suicidal. It's wrong. Tell me some daughter takes pills. They laugh at the pills she took, trying to take her life. They laugh at the fact that she called people. They laugh. We're laughing at someone the same way some people laughed at WHP. What if she now takes her life tomorrow? We're going to carry on laughing? Laigile. There's something wrong with us. All of us. Isolated case. Tall Asmo. Again, my heart is with him, his wife, his children, his supporters. I am so glad that he has won a case that many other men, and maybe because he had money, many other men don't win such cases. I'm happy that at least some men can win the case, and he had evidence. And the woman's story didn't stand up in court. It's also a lesson for women. If you are raped, violated, sadly, because of this bullshit legal system, get your evidence in order. Record a voice note. Send WhatsApps. See if there's video footage. Or, fucking sadly, learn to tell a good story. Learn how to cry. Learn how to have your snot coming out. Learn how to paint yourself as this victim. If you guys have ever watched David Fincher's Gone Girl with Ben Affleck and that lady, I unfortunately don't know her name, but she's in a movie called I Care a Lot. Sensational actress. Watch the power of story and narrative and propaganda. Brilliant movie. David Fincher is one of my favorite directors. Gone Girl. And watch how at any given time you can change perception. Ben Affleck today is hated. Tomorrow when he gets Tyler Perry as his lawyer, all of a sudden he's loved. He's a loving husband who's made mistakes. People have forgiven R. Kelly. If it's R. Kelly, yo, I believe I can fly. Step in the name of love. A leap of faith. Come on, faith. R. Kelly. Hayi baba. Yazi inombolo yakhe yacule leya badi. Trapped in the closet with a mama midget. Alright, come on, baba ngeke. Kells, the Pied Piper of R&B, the R&B. Chocolate Factory. Hayi baba. R. Kelly story. R. Kelly tried with Gayle King when she was interviewed. He broke down, he cried. And some people are like, no man, this is a hurt man. Some people are like, Lord, you Kells, you Shayel. Harvey Weinstein. Bill Cosby. You pick and choose, Jacobs. You pick and choose who you think is innocent and guilty based on how you feel about them. Because uyamthanda usijava. Awu Linda, ungashisa impepho emsamo. Thethi sabaphansi. Masingakafiki isikhathi sakho Linda. Sijava. Come on, mfethu. Sijava. Ladies lamachela la mfethu akhuluma English. We pick and choose. Big Dog Fresh. DJ Fresh. DJ Fresh is loved by white people, dog. Look at the charity work he did on his breakfast show, on his radio shows. Fresh. Aye, baba, these girls, like, we don't know. And I'll tell you this, I think, in closing. All of us have got dark sides. One of the greatest gifts I have in my life is that my father was deemed a bad man. Physically, verbally, emotionally, financially abused my mom. He used to physically abuse some of his other girlfriends. He used to own soccer teams, and sometimes when his soccer boys would lose, popularly known, Section 4 emadadeni, Urider Lowezinja. He used to have greyhounds. He used to go poaching on people's land. I'd only learn later that it wasn't poaching, it was hunting. And it was white people's land purely because white people forced black people off the land. My father was a hunter. Why Shayana, why Tugana, why Tandi Bamu, etc. That was my dad. Deemed a bad man. At his funeral, I was leading the memorial service. I said, this guy, good and bad sides. Some people only know him for the good. My father used to mentor boys at us. He used to teach boys how to drive. He used to take the boys and the girls to a local swimming pool. He used to hire movies for the kids to watch. He was a community builder. Of course, he had soccer teams. So people like Helman Kalelo, Fanny Matita used to play for my dad. There were good sides of him. The guys he used to hunt with loved him. Charisma. Women loved him. So I ended up with like 17 to 19 kids. Look at me. I'm a product of my dad. And if you like me, this might be him. All of us, Carl Jung speaks about it. I think he's a philosopher. Carl Jung, however you pronounce it. All of us have dark and light sides. You can be a good person for 50 years and you might break one day. Kill your kids, kill your family, burn yourself. You could make one mistake. You could be a good guy, you with a woman, and ish. Hey, nobody ish. Babe, come on, I just wanna. No, babe, please, I'm so horny. She goes and she opens a case. Did you rape her? Yes. You penetrated her without consent. Are you a bad person? Oof, tough. You're a good person that may have done a technically bad thing. Good people do bad things. And with the legal system we have, we normally don't focus on rehabilitation and fixing people. We want to isolate that one thing. Penwell, good guy. He's done good things, done charity work, he educated people on social media. He was loved, he had kids. One day I lose my shit. I'm in a bar somewhere. Some fucking racist white cunt. Hey, kafir, come here. Who the fuck are you calling a kafir? I'll kill you and your fucking ancestors. Ek sal jou fucking moed kafir. Ek sal jou bliksem, kom hier. I'm there. Nepoon. Sialwa, I moor him. Maybe he falls somewhere, dies. PS Roo, killed a traffic cop. Gave the family money, apologized. I don't think he spent time in jail. PS Roo was a rugby player for the Blue Bulls. I go now, I'm in jail. There, no bricks, Sun City. Manslaughter, murder in the first degree, premeditated murder. There, the Black Pan is in jail. Now about Pitch Black, they're in jail. Black Pan is in jail, Baba. Oh. I've had a 36 years, good bloke. Generally a good bloke. One day defines my whole life. Now I'm a jailbird. Now I'm in jail. Sen keti number, let's say 26, 28. Let's say keep a Now I'm a jailbird. I'm an ex-convict. I'm like choop going around begging to be a presenter on Much I Love reality shows. Zamuk revive ghost. Singing motivational speak. Mu Gaten McKenzie. Hey, you know, guys, when I was in jail, I learned many things about myself. Saying Pumanjongo Mandel. Hey, I'm free, long walk. One day, in fact, to trigger, I lost my shit. Am I a bad person? No. I'm a good person who did one bad thing. Oscar Pistorius, generally a good guy, was painted as a bad guy in court because he loved guns and poon. One day, whether it was jealousy, whether it was premeditated, whether it was an accident, he goes and he kills his woman, Riva Steenkamp. A bad guy for the rest of his life. Loses all endorsements, loses all his... But this guy, no one fucking cares. We need to apply ourselves to a higher intelligence. Don't just believe, I believe him, I believe her. Me too. Guys, we are fucking hurting each other. We are hurting each other. But we need to have these conversations again. I was giving hypothetical examples. I was giving fake examples to try and paint a story. Please listen to understand. Because in our lack of comprehension, we are becoming victims of propaganda and we are going out and we are hurting other people. Penuel the Black Pen, Yantanda Bafetu. Tall Asmo, I love you, Mfetu. Lerato Moloi, whatever may or may have not happened to you, Siswam, I hope you heal. I hope you get counseling. To everyone else, guys, let's just approach things with caution. Let's stop hurting each other. Let's stop hurting each other. Penuel the Black Pen. I love you. Cheers.